There's a verse in the Bible that says, He causes His rain to fall on the just and the unjust. Now, I didn't look at that verse before I picked this talk title. But after contemplating the talk title for a little while, this verse just kept coming back to my head. And it's like, what the heck is with this Bible verse? The rain falls on the just and the unjust. Well, I kind of got the idea of what just meant, and I knew how to be unjust in life. So I said, well, what does rain mean? What really is rain? So what I began doing was trying to figure out where the word rain originated. And I know most of us probably think that it has something to do with like precipitation, something falling out of the sky, drops of water falling out of the sky. But I got to tell you, rain does not have an etymology. Okay, and if it does, it comes from the German context, and it doesn't really mean water falling out of the sky. So this is what I discovered. Rain actually has a psychological meaning to it. The implications are that typically it means cleansing, it means purification, at least from the German interpretation of it or its origination. It can also mean that it's a release of tension. Or it could be that we become free or purified from some period that might have been a storm in our life or a period of crying. Then if you look a little bit further at it, and I'm trying to figure out exactly, why does rain look so psychological, is because it symbolizes an opening within us. That there is something about to change, something for personal growth in our life. So if we look at rain symbolically, what we understand is that there's aspects of rain that we could say, because everything's a metaphor, right? Everything is a metaphor. So we'll use rain as a metaphor tonight. So if we look at it symbolically, it's like rain then typifies or touches this earth plane. And where does it fall? It falls on the ground. And so the ground really is about the facts that we have about the reality of our own life. It's the facts that we're using to base the reality of our life. And then we look upward and we say, well, there's a sky here and the rain is falling out of the sky. And so symbolically, the sky could mean that it has something to do with some future event in our life or some anticipation for change in our life. What it could also point to is that rain in itself lends itself to an interpretation in some area of our life where we are unsettled. There's some areas in our life that are unsettled where we need some form of purification, some cleansing, something to go on to make us feel a little different about whatever is going on. And typically in those areas, we lack direction. That's why we're unsettled. Now, Charles Fillmore, in the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, this is what he says, because we want to be metaphysical at the same time. He says, rain is an outpouring of spirit that constantly refreshes and enriches our developing thoughts. He goes on to say that it's the desert of potential ideas turning into substance. So the Bible verse that I just spoke about a minute ago, the rain falling on the just and the unjust, then could really be that we're understanding that there is a spirit, there is God, there is the mind of God that is pouring itself into us, into different areas of our lives when we need it. You see? So purification happens at a time when purification is needed. There's also the periods of fertility that come when we get these really good ideas that we become a fertile place so that when we do get these experiments, and I'm going to call them experiments because we're experimenting with our emotions and we're looking at this psychologically here. So when we get these experiments in our life, it's because we're really trying to discover something new about ourselves. So rain is a state of consciousness. And if rain is a state of consciousness, then the sunshine must also be a state of consciousness.